To be honest, I'm not even really sure why I'm recording right now. I feel like recording is probably the last thing that I should do, but the camera was already set up because the thing that I did this morning was paint this wall. I already started filming today, but I don't know how I feel. Like, yeah. And then at some point today, I guess, a fire has now become out of control. It is just over the ridge. It's about 6 kilometers away. There is like smoke billowing. It has been upgraded to emergency. So it's like you have to prepare. And my mum has been through this before. We lost our house 4 years ago in the fires. And seeing her start to run around and collect everything, it's like, it's a feeling that I can't put into words. And I'm stuck because I don't really know what to pack. I'm just trying to think of all the stuff that I have here that I need to put into a suitcase. This is like one of the worst feelings I've ever had. And I feel stupid for even turning on the camera, but I needed to like say it out loud and just talk it out while I try and get my thoughts straight, because I don't want my mom to have to go through this again. So we are just hoping that it doesn't come this way, but yeah, we have to prepare, which is wild. I can't believe like I'm about to pack for a potential evacuation. Like, this is insane. I feel like I can't think straight. And yes, I'm aware filming while trying to pack things up to potentially evacuate is not the brightest thing in the world, but we're not in a rush right now. Like, everything's fine. It's just more like we're on standby. I have packed documents. I have packed my handbags, my jewelry, my diaries. I need to finish getting my computer and camera equipment and my electronic things and putting them in my tote bag. I grabbed my passport and my wallet, and what else? I need to pack some clothes. And you'd think for someone who's been living out of a suitcase for near on a year, I'd be fine at this, but like, I can't think straight. Do I take all my jeans? Do I not? I don't know. I guess I should just throw it in and see how much I can fit in my suitcase. My socks, underwear, all that stuff. I feel like I've made some progress. I'm trying really hard to keep it together because nothing's happened yet, and it's not like it's coming for us. Like, there's words not really coming out of my brain right now. There's meant to be a change in the weather tomorrow, and the thing that's upsetting me the most is the thought of my mom having to go through this again. That's what I'm like not being able to emotionally deal with right now. And it's probably being a bit dramatic, but oh my god, I wasn't here last time. I was in Canada. Being in it is just, oh, it's an icky feeling. Like, it's not good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Like, we don't have to evacuate. We're not in danger right now. We just have to be prepared. So all I have to do is finish packing my suitcase, zip it up. I am just hoping and praying that everybody that's on the other side of this thing, that's like on the coast, has evacuated, or like no homes have been lost or anything like that. Like, I'm hoping it's just bushland that's like in its path right now. But we had to speak to my pa because he lives out that way. Thankfully, he's not in the path of it right now either. But it's just a lot. It's a lot, and just being here in person makes me feel guilty for not being here last time. It's a few hours later. We've just been sitting outside, keeping up to date with everything. The fire has moved away from us. Like, we still have everything packed. All of the most important things are there just in case the weather completely changes. But sadly, it's moved out towards the coast, and it's kind of moved towards the town that my pa lives in. And while the town isn't under threat right now, they're just worried because at midnight the wind is supposed to change and it could push up towards the town. So hopefully between now and then they can kind of get some of it under control. And then tomorrow the wind is supposed to change again and come back this way. So who knows what's going to happen in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever. But we're just kind of on standby at the moment, just seeing what happens and just being aware that it's there and just waiting. It's just a big waiting game at this point. It's 2 days later. That was very dramatic.
It was a wild 24 hours. To give you a bit of a recap, I woke up that morning, everything was totally normal. I was painting this wall, I was filming my next bedroom makeover video, which I assure you is so much more interesting than the last one. And then at midday, I went out to the kitchen for something and we got the notification that there was like a small fire just up over the ridge, and didn't think too much of it because it was small and, you know, not to worry. And then about an hour later, my mum gets home and she gets out of the car and she's like, get in the car now. We have to go up the road. You have to come and have a look, because we have a bit of a hill over there and we can't see anything. So we get in the car, we drive up, and sure enough, it is smoke. It is billowing. It is a big fire and it's right there. So we come home and we start packing. I walk into my room and I turn my camera on because it was already set up from filming and everything that morning. And that's what you just saw, was me trying to process my thoughts and my feelings and trying to pack an evacuation bag on the off chance that the fire came this way and we would have to evacuate. If the wind had have been blowing this way, 100% would have evacuated, and I would say the house probably wouldn't be here, but it did push in the opposite direction. It went all the way out to the coast, and sadly some people did lose their homes. It was absolute chaos for about 8 hours. We just sat out on the back deck listening to the scanner where you can hear all the fire crew talking and what's happening, and it was really out of hand. There were fire crew who were unable to get out, so they had to shelter in place and let the fire go around them, which would be terrifying. There were crew coming in from all over the state. From Sydney, you could hear them. They would radio in and be like, we're coming, we've got a crew of X amount of people. Like, it was wild. And so we just sat out there waiting to hear of any news of about what was going to happen, because at midnight there was supposed to be a wind change that would push the fire north, and I think it got to a point where it was a pretty low chance of it being pushed back this way, but if it were going to head back north, it was going to hit a town that my pa lives in. So my mom was making sure he was all ready, that he had collected his important things just in case that happened. A few hours before midnight, the change came in and it cooled the conditions a little bit, so they were able to get on top of the fire. It didn't push back north, which was great, and I barely slept that night. It was a horrible sleep, and I woke up the next morning to it being very, very smoky here. A couple hours later, the wind changed again and it pushed the smoke away, and then at about 3 to 5 p.m. yesterday afternoon, it started raining, and it rained all night, and it's the first time in a while, like months, that it's rained that much. It'd be nice if it were a couple of days of rain, but a good night of rain was exactly what we needed. So the fire is under control now and they've got it all handled, but it was wild, I think, because the community went through this just a few years ago. For those who don't know, we lost our house in the Black Summer fires here at the end of 2019, as did many other people, and so I think everybody was a little bit on edge. I think everybody's going to be on edge going into the fire season here. If we learned anything from last time, you just have to be prepared, because you just never know what's going to happen. But we didn't have to evacuate. Everything's all good. Yesterday I didn't do a lot. My mum slept through the afternoon. I did sleep in the afternoon as well, because we're both just so exhausted. And now today I'm back up. I've finished painting this wall and I've just moved the furniture in, and I was gonna do an October reset video, you know, like get my shit together, like organize myself now that I'm back here and, you know, October. And instead I'm doing that, but a little bit different, because, you know, I have to unpack my suitcase. I have to clean and figure out the chaos that I've created in here for myself. So that's the plan this afternoon. I'm just gonna start reorganizing myself after, you know, a disaster, after things went very, very wrong, and hopefully I can spend the rest of the week being a little bit more organized and feeling like I'm back on track for October. This is the state of my room at the moment, and it's bad. It's really bad. I've just been living in a dump the last couple days, and it's time to change it. It's starting to look so good. I just moved my play button over here because it was very reflective when I had it sitting over there, and I'm thinking that maybe I should hang it on the wall here and just have my play button up here above my desk. I can't believe how far we've come since I've got that play button, but I do plan to do a whole desk setup, which I'm really excited about, so that will be out in a couple of weeks. And then I have my dresser, which is looking really cute. I love this side with the plant and everything. Don't love this side. In fact, I actually bought some new makeup storage today, which will be arriving in a couple of days. So I'm really excited to organize that and set that side of the dresser up. The rug's actually looking pretty good next to the wall. I'm excited to put that down. I suppose I could probably do that this afternoon. And then I guess I should start organizing the wardrobe. It's looking so good in here. I'm so happy with the color. I got some packages the other day. This one is a PR package. The brand Moft has sent me some really cool iPhone things. So I'm gonna open all of these. And then I also bought a new paint by numbers off Amazon. I'm so excited about this one. So this is the image here that I'm doing. It's flowers, it's bright, it's colorful. It's all of my favorite things. And there's also a green through it that I think is pretty similar to this wall. It is on a flat piece of canvas. I couldn't get one that was already framed. So if I like it, I will frame it. And then I might hang it on this wall here to add like a fun pop of color to my room. But I like it. This is very, very cool. These things are really cool. This is a laptop carry case that has magnets in it, so you can fold this piece up and these bits here magnetize down, and it will create a 25-degree slant that your laptop can sit on. And then if you want a little bit less, this piece folds up. This is really hard to do one-handed, and connects to there, and then your laptop will be at a 15-degree incline, and then you just stick your laptop in it and close it, and it's a carry case. That is very, very cool. And then this is the phone case, right? So you clip your phone case on, and this is the MagSafe metal thing inside of it. And then there's this piece, which sits flat, and it just magnetizes to the back. And when you want a little stand for your phone, you just pull this out, and then that magnet hits there to hold it in place, and then you've got a stand for your phone. I think that is so cool. I just made myself a cup of tea and some Vegemite toast. I haven't had Vegemite toast since I think last year. I did have some with me when I was living in Toronto, but I gave it away when I left, and I haven't had any for such a long time, and I'm so excited. I'm so gonna take a bunch of jars with me when I finally do move. I've just been sitting here eating my toast, drinking my tea, watching TikToks, and thinking about how great it's gonna look when that little bit of wall up there down the side is done, and then I just have to do that wall in there next to the door, and when the door's done as well, because it's just the stock standard door at the moment. It's nothing fancy, it's had nothing done to it, and I think I will paint it white. But if I hate that, then maybe I could do green. I don't know, but oh, it's kind of feeling so much more cleaner and organized in here, and I'm really happy about it. I'm just sitting here drinking my tea, admiring my green wall because it looks so good. I can't wait to finish it. And I'm so happy that I moved the furniture back around today. It just feels so much more organized. I'm gonna be able to sit down and actually do work here and, you know, use the desk. It's much cleaner, much more organized than what it was before. It feels good. It's not perfect. I'm considering getting some new things to raise the bed because it's a very, very low bed. I don't like how low it is, and I feel like it would be a lot nicer if it were just a few inches higher off the ground. It will be so much better in here though when I get my new bedding and it gets all organized. I have my painting stuff still over here because I do have to do this wall, which it will look so good when it's done, and then I have to do the door. My wardrobe is pretty much back to the way that it once was, and my dress is all organized, and so is my desk, so it feels nice in here. It's starting to get a little bit cold in here, so I'm gonna put my sweater on, and then I am gonna write a to-do list for tomorrow so that I can be a little prepared. I haven't written a to-do list in a couple of days because, you know, the whole fire thing. So if I do it now, then it'll be half done before tomorrow. My to-do list at the moment is just on this notepad. It's a really pretty little notebook. I got it like 4 years. I got this at the end of 2019 from Indigo when I first moved to Toronto. And it's just such a pretty book. And I just start with the date, and my to-do lists are always pretty simple. This is the start of it. I always start my to-do lists with check Etsy messages, Shopify emails, and track expenses, all to do with my planners and whatnot, just because I need to make sure I'm responding to emails and messages every single day. I have a call at 10 a.m. I need to edit my bedroom makeover video. I need to make a payment on my credit card, and I also have an invoice that I need to pay. So that's a pretty simple to-do list. I don't like to do too much. I just want to put out the most important things that I can think of, and then I add to my list as the day goes, because if I start with a full giant to-do list, I get overwhelmed and I don't like doing it. I just like to start with a little bit so it feels more attainable, and then as I go through, I add things, and it just becomes a really good system for me to get a lot done. While we're on the topic of finance, I do actually have to make another custom currency spreadsheet. I just made and designed this green one, which I love. Obviously, everything in my life is green right now, and I love green, and I think it's really, really pretty. The most requested currency has actually been South African Rand. I have had to make that in almost every single colorway, so that's a really interesting fact. A lot of you seem to be from South Africa, which is very cool. Anyway, I'm gonna do all of this, package it up, and then send it out. Also, excuse the fact that I have one pink fingernail and the rest are green. The green one I mixed custom, and this one came off, so I was not going to try and mix the same color. I just went with the pink, so a bit odd, but it's cute. I think I'm pretty much done for the day. Like, it's kind of late afternoon and I'm still a bit tired. I don't have much brain capacity left. I just did some emails and some admin work, but I think I'm gonna save most of that for tomorrow. I actually feel like maybe doing my paint by numbers. I really wish I had have just brought the one that I started in Toronto with me. And I do wish this had have come with a frame already, but I think it would be cool to do that. You know how you have a canvas and it's on, the canvas is on a frame, but then there's like a wooden frame around the canvas? I feel like that would be really cool to do. Then again, who knows, this could actually be a really terrible paint by numbers, because sometimes it's a bit hit and miss. You don't really know what you're getting. The ones that I have linked from back in Toronto, they do ship them worldwide. Those are the best. They are the best kind, but I was after something that was really bright and colorful, so that's why I went with this one. And I've never tried this brand before, and all of the patches are really big, so hard to know how that's gonna go. But while I do this, I was just sort of thinking, I don't know if I've done a good job at keeping you up to date with everything that's been going on. If you have any questions or there's anything that you want me to talk about, please let me know, because I feel a little bit thrown off with where I'm at and how much I've, talked to you about. But, I've been back in Australia now for 3 weeks. Ultimately, I have moved home. So for the foreseeable future, I live here. I live here in Australia with my mum in my new green bedroom that I'm so happy about, and I am just settling in and making this space my own, because I don't know how long I'll be here for. I would say probably till the end of the year, so it's gonna be a couple months. This is home. This is where we're gonna be hanging out, doing our daily routines, getting organized for the rest of the year, and I'm really excited about it. While I'm here, I'm obviously going to be just working on being able to move back overseas, but it's a process. It's out of my control really, and don't know when, but it'll happen eventually. One day I'll be able to get my very own apartment again and be able to decorate it and organize it and go through that whole process. But for now, I live my quiet little country life and I am loving it. I am still in my relationship, long distance relationship, and surprisingly, it's been like really easy so far, and I would put that down to the fact that this is probably the most healthiest relationship I've ever been in. We have just very open communication. There's no uncertainty, there's no worrying, there's no stress. It's just really healthy and safe, and it's obviously not ideal being away from each other, but I think it's also just, we know that it's part of the process. This isn't forever. We have a plan. It's just gonna take some time, and we both have to be patient, and so far, so good. It's been pretty easy, and I'm really happy that it's like that way, so can't wait to see him again, whenever that may be. But until then, I'm just, doing my thing here in the country, living my quiet, tiny little life. Anyway, that's about as much of an update as I have right now. I am gonna paint this paint number thing, whatever. I have no idea where the little paintbrushes went. It came with paintbrushes and I don't know what I did with them. Thankfully I have a whole bunch of paintbrushes that I can use anyway, but like, what? Where did they go? I found them, they were inside the box still. These are the colors and this is just gonna be so much fun. I've also been watching Gilmore Girls and oh my god, I have some thoughts on this. Like, I see this show in a very different way now. I'm in season 6 and Rory and Logan are together and Logan is the most triggering character. Every other time I've watched this show, I've always been like, oh, Logan, like, I just want them to be together. And now I'm like, absolutely not. And maybe it's because everyone I've ever dated has always been so emotionally unavailable. They've made me feel uncertain and stressed and anxious. And I'm like, yep, that's normal. And now that I don't have that, I can't watch him. He actually makes me feel stressed and like uncomfortable. So I try and skip over some of those scenes because I don't like it. But yeah, that's my new observation and new thing I'm having watching it this time is that Logan just makes me very, very uncomfortable. And it also makes me sad that like I put up with so little from guys in the past. It's sad. But anyway, I mean, no more. I will not do that again. We're all good. But yeah, just an interesting observation I have made since watching it this time. I do not like Logan anymore.